up? It's just late, and I hope you guys are having a great day today. I know I am, because I'm back with another video. So today is a pretty special video because I will finally be answering some of you guys' questions about nursing school, about how I'm doing in nursing school, about my specific nursing school, and just everything that you guys have been wondering so far. I want to kind of preference this video by saying that if any of your questions were not answered in this video, you can always comment them down below, or also reach out to me on Instagram. I'll have my Instagram here on the screen. My DMs are always open, and if I don't respond back to you like as soon as possible, just know that I will get back to you. I get a lot of questions through DM, which I really appreciate. So if you ever have questions, don't be afraid to hit me up in the DMs. So all my questions are on my phone, and I'll just be going through my DMs and also the questionnaire I put on my Instagram story to answer these questions. So if I'm looking down at my phone, that's why. So the first question that I've been getting a lot and everybody has been asking me is about the T's, what my score was, how I studied, how I prepared for it, and just overall how was it. And so that will be the first question I'm answering now. Okay, so I literally had to pull up my T-scores so I can tell you guys the accurate scores of what I got. So overall, I scored in advanced. I got a total score of 83%, which is in the advanced criteria. I got proficient in all of my sections. In math in particularly, I got a 93. In science, I got an 83. In reading, I got a 78. And in English and language, I got a 75. Yes, so I got proficient in each of my sections, which is really good. I got a pretty good score. Proficient, I would say, is just what you want to shoot for overall. I ended up getting an overall total of advanced. That's great too. As far as what I did to prepare, I got a prep book. I'll probably put it somewhere on the screen or link down below, but I got a prep book and I would just go through that whole prep book. For me, my trouble sections were the English and language and the science. Those two were the hardest. Math, of course, was easy for me. I got a 93 in math. That wasn't really the problem. And even reading for me wasn't really the problem because it was mainly like comprehension and just stuff that you kind of already have known thus far. It was mainly science and English. That was my trouble. So I would just go through my prep book and just continuously just do practice problems, read through it, go over anatomy, because science is mainly just anatomy. So I would just go through the anatomy. There was also a young lady on YouTube who was making videos about ATI and T's, and like literally her whole YouTube was about T's. So I used her channel to kind of guide me on what exactly was on the T's and what exactly I should be studying for. And I'll probably link her down below somewhere, but she was a really good reference for me and just like explaining exactly what to know. If you do use YouTube as a reference when you are taking the T's, my only suggestion is find somebody who has taken the T's within like the same year or like a year apart from when you're taking it. This just kind of ensures that like the people who are giving you information have the most accurate and the most relevant information for you. Don't go to somebody who took the T's like 2-3 years ago, because their information might be a little bit different than what you actually need to know. But yeah, the T's is essentially like the SAT. So if you most of y'all had to take the SAT to get to college. It's basically like the SAT for nursing school. You just have to get a good score, and you should be good. If you took the SAT, you did well. You should do well on the T's as well. Next, I've gotten like, how is nursing school for you, like as a whole? Like, how are you doing in nursing school? And I'm doing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, the transition itself was very, very hard for me. Going from just being a regular college student to specifically a nursing student is two totally different things, and a lot of people don't understand that. But it's kind of something that you just kind of learn once you are in it and starting nursing school. I've kind of gotten past that whole like introduction stage, so now I'm kind of like in my first semester. I'm almost done with my first semester, so like I've learned a lot and I've grown a lot, and I've gotten better at just everything and handling everything as a whole. I'm not gonna lie, that first test, the first skills check off, like all your firsts are gonna be the most stressful times ever, even though it's like, you know, just the introduction stage. All the firsts are going to be so hard because you don't know what to expect, and you're kind of just walking into something a little bit blindly because it's a totally different thing. But once you get past like that, the first, then you get more comfortable and you get more used to it, and things get easier and you figure out more of what works. as of right now, I would just say I'm doing good. I've just had good grades so far, have not failed anything yet, which is always great. And I'm just excited for summer, not gonna lie. I actually have something interesting coming up this summer that has to do with nursing and just helping my career, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing good. Okay, so the next question is, I know that it's a big commitment, but do you still have time for other things? Meaning, like, do I have time for other things while in nursing school? The short answer to that is no, not really. And I'll explain why. So every time I talk to somebody who's still doing their prereqs or, you know, have not started their nursing programs yet, I always tell them, enjoy your time now, because you will barely get nearly as much free time once you start as you have now. I'm not gonna say that there is absolutely no free time. There definitely is, but it's just there's always something to do. There's always something you need to be reading. There's always something you need to be studying. And like nursing school is one of the things that's like, in class is one thing, but you also have to do the work outside of class. You have to really make sure you understand these concepts, get them in your head, and that just requires a lot of, like, you know, work and a lot of dedication. Of course, you'll have weeks where you are more flexible and you are able to, you know, go out and do social things and, you know, not just be focused on nursing school. But there's also weeks where you have skills check off, and you have tests, and you have reading, and you have tutoring, then you have skills lab. Like, there are weeks where it's just like a lot all at once, and then there might be a week where it's like, okay, you have more flexibility. All I'm gonna really say is, when you do have time to chill or have free time, take advantage of it. Do what you need to do to stay, like, you know, mentally sane, but also you do have to have hard work. Like, if you're going out every week and you're doing all this other stuff, chances are you're not doing well in your classes. Like, I'm just gonna say that, because it just requires double the attention as like prereqs. You really have to know this stuff. There's no way to just squeeze by nursing school. Every test, every skills, you just have to know what you're doing. So, not to scare you, but your free time is very, very limited, and I have maybe gone out and done something twice this semester, and I'm already like almost at the end of the semester, so it's been very, very limited. This kind of just goes with what I just answered, but it's like, how do you balance your school life with your social life? And honestly, like I said, using every opportunity that I have of free time and taking advantage of it. Also, most of the people that I really talk to and hang out with now are like my nursing friends. Like, we have the same schedule, so every time we have a break, like, we know we have it together. So it's just like connecting with people who are on the same path as you also makes it easier and helps with like your social life, because like, oh, I don't feel as alone because they know what I'm going through and they have breaks when I have breaks. And yeah, it's very hard to balance my school life and social life. I'll definitely say my school life has taken over my social life by far, but it's a 2-year sacrifice. You just gotta, once you get past that mindset, then you just know, okay, I just gotta deal with it. So the next thing is, what is one of the most challenging subjects in nursing school from your perspective? And for me, it's definitely pathophysiology, because I feel like it's all of the sciences like all in one. It's chemistry, it's biology, it's anatomy and physiology. It's like all combined, and then you got to turn around and figure out, okay, how does like diseases affect the body system, and how does these diseases manifest in the body? What symptoms will this person have? What treatment would you do? It's a whole lot. Things are no longer just, okay, this bone is located here, this organ is located here. It's, what is this organ? What does it do? What does it affect? And if you have a disease in this system, how does it manifest in your body? How would you treat this? It's really hard, because it's like you really have to know what you're doing. You really have to understand everything, understand the body system, understand how it works. So if you're not paying attention in your prereqs, start paying attention now, because all those things come right back, and then you just build on top of it. But yeah, I've spent a lot of all-nighters in the library for pathophysiology. So if there was anyone that I had to say was the hardest, pathophysiology. The question that I have gotten was, how are the professors, like, how do they differ from like your professors in your prereqs? Like, how are specifically like the nursing instructor? This is a very interesting question to answer because all of them are very different. They all bring something different to your knowledge. They have all worked in different places. You have people who work in advocacy that are now teaching, or people who worked on the floor that are now teaching, people who did labor and delivery, people who are in the military that are now teaching. Like, they all have been nurses and took different paths, and now they're coming to teach you. So a lot of their perspectives are different. Some teach us based off of the experience that they have, some teach us based off of what the book is saying. So it's definitely kind of just, you figure out which professor works best with you, what their way of teaching works best, and that's a professor that you can kind of rely on. As a whole, one thing I noticed kind of that differs from nursing professors to just like regular professors is they're very strict when it comes to just being on time, when it comes to attendance. Like, you really can't miss classes like that. And this is mainly for my program, but like I know other programs like this. And they're just like pretty strict about like dress code and just being your best. They really push you, they really test your knowledge to a different level. And like, I remember in prereqs, like, you could not care and your professor just would not care either. But like, one thing I noticed about being in nursing school is the professors, they're really on you. Like, they want you to do well, and if you don't do well, if you fail, like, they're gonna send you to remediation, they're gonna send you to the skills lab. Like, they want you to know this information. Like, everything is information that you need to know, so they're making sure you know this information and pushing you to learn. Another question is like what to look for in like a nursing school, because I know some people are different. They might be going to like a separate school for their prereqs than their nursing school, or it might not be like a direct program like how mine was. I did my prereqs and my nursing school at the same program. Some people might be going back for nursing school. So a question is just like, how do I like choose a good nursing school? Best thing I could say is just talk to people who are in that nursing school, understand like how it is for them, and if you can't do that, you can always research and see just kind of the reputation that nursing school has. Also, I'll say the two main things you want to look for in your nursing school is like accreditation. Make sure your nursing school is accredited and make sure they're a good program. And also, you want to look at their NCLEX pass rates. You want to make sure their NCLEX pass rates are like in the 90s. Since y'all might not be in nursing school yet, you might not know what the NCLEX is, but the NCLEX is very, very important. It is how you get your license. Basically, you can graduate nursing school and all that, but if you don't pass the NCLEX, you don't get your license. And there's some people who take years and multiple attempts to get their license because they cannot pass the NCLEX. So the NCLEX becomes a very important factor in your nursing career. And so when you're choosing a school, you want to choose a school that has good NCLEX pass rates, because that lets you know that they prepare their students well for the NCLEX. And that kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, so this program is good and it's going to help me pass my NCLEX. Yeah, and I would just say just look up what they provide, different simulations, and what hospitals they work with, and just the opportunities that they can really give you. And if you know somebody, get in contact with them. And that's about it. So this is a good segue into my next question. And I got a question about FAMU's nursing program exactly, and like, how is it, do I recommend it, and things like that. So this is a question that's just like really interesting, and I'm really excited to get into it. I'm just going to start with saying, like, no matter what nursing school you go to, it's going to be hard. No matter what, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be so much all at once. But my nursing program at FAMU in particular, it's going through some things. It's going through some changes right now, and it's very apparent. They are actively trying to get better. They have some issues, like from a student's perspective at least, like with communication and just organization, and they're actively trying to do better with it, which I really appreciate. It kind of is what it is at this point. I'm here now, I'm invested, and I want to finish through FAMU's program. but there are some things that like I personally think should change, but like I'm not gonna go into it right now because I feel like that's a whole nother video that could be talked about. But honestly, I'm just trying to graduate and get through. Would I recommend it? When it comes to recommending, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say I recommend it maybe like a 6 or a 7. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. I'm gonna just leave it there. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there and move on to the next question. Next thing is about like requirements for my nursing program, or like what requirements I had to have. And I kind of went over this in like the T's question, but like as far as like the T's, you just have to get proficient in each level. I do think that like FAMU's like whole requirements was stricter than a lot of the people that I like talked to or that I knew that were doing like other nursing programs. Always apply to, when you're applying for something, always apply to more than once. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So don't just apply to one nursing program. That's what I did and I got in, but like don't do that. Have other options because they're all looking for different things. As far as me personally, my program, we had to have proficient in every section of the T's. And another big thing that they had was just grade point average and just making sure you had a good GPA. And they had no C's. Like you could not get C's whatsoever. If you had a C, chances are you were not getting into the nursing program. And that especially applied to like science and math. Like those were like big no-nos. Like you had to do well in science and math to get accepted. Also, you just couldn't have like a record. You had to get like reference letters and pass your drug test. Like it wasn't too bad getting in. The whole process of getting in wasn't too bad. If you have everything together, if you did good on your prereqs, then you should be able to get in and do well no matter where you go. So the last question is about like advice and what advice I would give to somebody who is about to start nursing school. I'm in my first semester, so I'm sure like as I progress through the program, my advice would just get more and more and I have more insight to tell you guys. But I'm gonna just give you a little some to help you with, you know, stepping into your journey and starting your first semester in nursing school. I'm gonna just give y'all a whole 9. I'm gonna just give y'all some good advice because this is something that I wish people would have told me, because I feel like I just jumped in the program and didn't really have very much guidance. So let me break it down for y'all. So when it comes to prereqs, make sure you're paying attention in your prereqs. Make sure you understand everything that you have gone over in your prereqs. It's just going to make it easier when you start nursing school, because literally everything builds up on it. There hasn't been anything that we've gone over that like haven't foundationally start in the prereqs. So just know that. Make sure you're paying attention to your prereqs, and if you're not, brush up on your biology, brush up on your anatomy, because that stuff is the main stuff that's going to come right back once you get in nursing school. Also, figure out your support system now. If you have some friends that aren't really being friends, go ahead and cut them off. If you have people that don't support your dream and your goal, go ahead and cut them off. Like when I tell y'all, nursing school is going to push you mentally and emotionally. It's going to push you, and you really need a good support system to sit there and tell you like you can do it, and people who believe in you. I'm going to tell you right now, if they did not go to nursing school, if they're not in nursing school, haven't been a nurse yet, they're not gonna fully understand what you're going through. They're gonna think it's simpler than it really is. But having their support either way really means a lot, and it really helps you a lot. Figure out the people who you know is going to support you throughout this journey, because you're going to need them. You're going to be emotional, you're going to be tired, you're going to be like physically and mentally like exhausted, but like you have to keep going. You have to have people around you who's going to push you to do your best and support your little accomplishments along the way. So figure out your support system now, because those are the main people that you are going to lean on throughout the process. Next is make sure nursing is what you want to do. I've had people reach out to me and just be like, I'm not sure if I want to do nursing and stuff like that, and that's perfectly fine. All I say is just do your research, find out your options, and figure out if it's what you really want to do. You need to be motivated. You need to kind of have an understanding of this is what I want, because it's going to push you and you're going to question yourself, and that's okay. because you know you want to do it, so you're going to stay dedicated either way. When I tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that I want to be a nurse. Like, I already know I want to be a nurse. Like, I already know I want to be a nurse. And sometimes I still get discouraged. Sometimes I still question, is this for me? But understand that if that's what you're thinking right now before even getting into it, make sure this is what you really want to do, because you are going to just continuously question yourself throughout the program and throughout, you know, the hardships. But once you're dedicated, once you're committed, you're good. You'll be able to get through it, and you'll just keep pushing. Last thing I just want to say is you're going to fail time and time again. You're not going to do good on everything, but you have to understand this is not an easy task. It's not an easy thing. And if it was, then we wouldn't have shortages of nurses now. If it was, you wouldn't have people who took them 7 years to get through nursing school. Like, it's hard. It is, but like, you can do it. I say this to y'all, but like, this is something I need to know too, because I still question myself too. It's not easy, and it's okay to like fail. It's okay to not do good. It's okay to not pass that first test. It's okay to not pass that first skills practice. But you just can't dwell on it. You have to keep going, and you have to understand you would not get as far if this was not for you. So you gotta keep going regardless of everything. But I think that I'm going to end the video off here. These are like majority of the questions I have gotten, but if I did not answer your question or you still have another question, do not be afraid to like comment it down below and I'll get back to you, or reach out to me through DMs. My DMs are always open, and I constantly have people reaching out to me that have seen my videos and have questions. I'm happy to answer them. It just might take me a little while to get to it, but I'm gonna answer it regardless. If I get a lot of questions or a lot of things that people still have that they want to ask me, then I just might make it like a part 2 or something to answer even more questions. But you know, keep your questions coming, and don't be afraid to reach out to me. I love hearing from y'all. Y'all are all like really sweet and really nice, and I already know all you guys are gonna do some great things. But yeah, I'm just gonna end off the video here. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I do have something, you know, exciting for this summer that I'll be doing to help advance my career, so I'm hoping to like take y'all with me. Of course, I'm not always as consistent as I want to be, but I appreciate the people who are like still be watching my videos, still be supporting me. And even if you're new, I really appreciate you, because I love making videos. I just don't always have the time. So if you be sticking around, if you be watching me, thank you. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Continue to look out for like more content about like nursing, because I see that this is something that you guys really enjoy and really was looking forward to in my journey. So continue to look out for that. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.